So what do you do when you have basically all the money in the world, but you're convinced that world is about to end? Well, for a growing number of the super rich, the answer isn't to try and fix things. Nope, it's to build an escape hatch. This is the story of the wild, booming business of billionaire doomsday prepping.
I mean, listen to that. That is not a line from some cheesy horror movie. That is an actual sales pitch from a guy named Robert Vicino, who sells luxury bunkers for the end of the world. And the really unsettling part? For a whole lot of very wealthy people, that pitch is working.
So let's dive into Vicino's biggest project. He's the CEO of a company called Vivos, and what they do is take old military facilities and turn them into survival communities. And his crown jewel is this massive development right in the American heartland, designed to be, get this, the capital city for a world after the collapse.
The sheer scale of this place is just hard to wrap your head around. I want you to picture 18 square miles of prairie out in South Dakota, and sticking out of the ground are hundreds of these grass-covered concrete bunkers. This whole place used to be a World War II Army depot, built to take a nuclear blast, and now it's being sold as condos for the apocalypse.
But you've got to understand, this is so much more than just real estate. It's really an ideology. The Vivos project is selling this kind of libertarian fever dream, a private, fortified city-state just for the rich, protected by their own private military from, all the desperate people on the outside. It's like the gated community idea just taken to its most extreme apocalyptic conclusion.
And this isn't just one guy's weird project. Not at all. This has become a full-blown organized industry. I'm talking everything from custom-built private fortresses to these community shelters. A whole market has just popped up to cater to the survivalist fantasies of the world's wealthiest people. $270 million. That's the rumored price tag from Mark Zuckerberg's compound out in Hawaii. And the main feature? A 5,000 square foot underground shelter, totally self-sufficient with its own food and energy behind a massive blast-resistant door.
And there are options for every ultra-wealthy budget. For $3 million, you can snag a luxury condo inside a converted nuclear missile silo in Kansas. For a little more, you can get a private apartment tucked away in an old Soviet bunker under a mountain in Germany. It's literally a menu for surviving the end of days in style.
So, okay, this brings us to the biggest question of all. We've seen the what and the how, but why? Why are some of the most powerful people on the entire planet actively planning to just abandon the world that they, in many ways, helped create? What are they so afraid of?
In their circles, they call it the event. It's this catch-all phrase for a total breakdown of society. We're talking a catastrophic pandemic, a rogue AI, nuclear war, climate collapse, you name it. Anything that makes their money and their power totally worthless. Now, one of the philosophical ideas they use to justify this is something called long-termism. In its best form, it's a nice idea. It's about caring for future generations. But the extreme version, which is really popular in Silicon Valley, basically argues that protecting humanity's far future potential is way more important than solving today's problems. And if you actually believe that, then building a lifeboat to make sure humanity survives, well, it starts to feel less like a selfish act and more like a moral duty.
But there is a huge, terrifying flaw in this entire escape plan. It's a paradox that really gets to the paranoid heart of this whole mindset. And it has nothing to do with how thick the concrete is. It's all about who you bring inside that bunker with you.
So get this. A theorist named Douglas Rushkoff was invited to a top-secret meeting with a handful of hedge fund billionaires, and this was the main thing they wanted to ask him. They weren't asking how to prevent a collapse. They wanted to know how to control their own security guards. We're talking ex-Navy SEALs, after the collapse actually happens. And right there, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? When your money is just paper and the power grid is down, what's to stop your security team from taking the food, the water, and the whole bunker? All of a sudden, the people with the skills and the guns are the ones who are really in charge. And the so-called solutions they talked about are genuinely chilling. Things like putting combination locks on the food supply that only the billionaire owner knows the code to, or even using disciplinary shock collars on their own guards to keep them in line. The ultimate fantasy? Getting rid of the human guards altogether and replacing them with robots so you don't have to deal with that messy little problem of human free will. So what does all this mean for the rest of us? What's the final, kind of crushing irony when the wealthiest, most powerful people on Earth are busy planning their exit strategy?
Well, it's the ultimate self-fulfilling prophecy. Think about it.
when the people who have the most resources to actually solve global problems instead pour all that money and energy into escaping those problems, they're actively neglecting the world we all have to live in. And in doing that, they're speeding up the very collapse they're so afraid of.
As the writer Mark O'Connell put it after he visited one of these places, the very fact that this industry even exists is a huge symptom of where we are right now. The fact that apocalypse real estate is a real, profitable business, it suggests that a deep failure in our society has kind of already happened.
And that really leads us to the ultimate irony in all of this. After all the innovation, all the wealth they've accumulated, they've managed to build a world that they themselves, the most successful people in it, don't even want to live in anymore. It's like they won the game, and their grand prize is a desperate need to just get off the board entirely.
So, I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. Is the billionaire bunker a rational solution for a world on the brink? Or is the impulse to build that escape hatch in the first place a core symptom of the disease that's pushing us there?